Good morning, everybody. Mel Soul here, and welcome to our Monday Rewind, where we talk about all the tournaments from the previous week. Today is Monday, the 13th of November, 2017, and a beautiful day for golf school. We have 4 students starting out over there. They are starting golf school today. Perfect temperature, just maybe light sweater weather, which is what I absolutely love for golf. Particularly in golf school, we're standing and hitting a lot of shots. So if you're thinking of coming to golf school, now is a great time. It's in the mid-60s, perfect. Golf course is in great shape. So last week, the PGA Tour was in Mexico playing the OHL Classic at a Greg Norman design El Camaleon Golf Club. And Patton Kazire won the tournament to get his maiden PGA Tour win, beating off a charging Ricky Fowler. Patton had a 3-stroke lead with 3 holes to play, was playing beautiful, steady golf. Ricky birdied 16, birdied 17, brought the gap down to 1. But kudos to Patton, he never looked flustered. He just hit his drive on 16, 17, down the middle on the green, down the middle on the green. Knew he didn't have to do anything fancy. 18, same thing, down the middle on the green. Ricky had to hit his iron shot close, did not manage to do it, and then committed the ultimate sin, leaving his birdie putt short. He could have 4-putted the 18th green and still finished in second place. So his thought process there should have been, knock this ball at least 3 foot by, give the ball a chance of hitting the hole and going in, and he left it short. I would like to have seen a playoff, but I think I'm very, very pleased that Patton won the tournament, so congratulations on his maiden victory. European Tour, fellow South African Brandon Grace. First time in 10 years that a South African has won the Nedbank Challenge at Gary Player Country Club in Sun City, and hosted by Gary Player. So Gary's always there, and Gary, when Brandon sank the last putt, Gary came running out and gave him the biggest hug. I think he was really thrilled to see a South African win. There was a great battle between Victor Dubuisson, Scott Jamieson, and Brandon over the last 9 holes. On 16, Brandon sank about a 40-footer for a birdie. That made the difference. It gave him a 1-stroke edge, and everybody parred 17, everybody parred 18. Brandon had a little tap in on 18. We all dream of having a 3-inch putt on the last hole to win a pro golf tournament. So I was really pleased to see Brandon win another European Tour victory. On the senior tour, also, fellow South African David Frost came to the last hole needing a birdie to get into a playoff, and unfortunately in going for the green in 2, he just pushed it ever so slightly, hit the bank, kicked right, went in the water, and he ended up making a 6 and finishing in a tie for 4th. Still a good finish for David. This, of course, was in the Charles Schwab Cup, and Kevin Sutherland ended up winning both the Charles Schwab Championship and the Charles Schwab Cup. Now, there's already a lot of buzz going on about how unfair this is to somebody like Bernard Langer, who's won 7 times throughout the year. Kevin Sutherland's never won a stroke play event in his life. So to win the Charles Schwab Cup, which comes along with $1 million, didn't seem fair. However, in an interview with Bernard Langer, Bernard said, the rules are the rules. This is how we set it up. I was part of the committee that laid out those rules, so I have no complaints. Kevin deserved to win. He won the way the format is laid out. He then followed it up with, I think the format needs to change. And you saw in the FedEx Cup over the first few years, they tweaked it a little bit and tweaked it a little bit, and now it really works. So a little tweak in the Charles Schwab Cup for next year. Make sure that somebody who's played well, they call it the race to Dubai, or the race to the Charles Schwab Cup, or the race to the FedEx Cup, the race to the CME Globe with the LPGA. To then turn around on the final tournament and say, okay, we're going to wipe out all the points and everybody's got a fair shot at winning, that's not right. So hopefully next year they'll tweak it a little bit. We'll get a better result there. LPGA was in China at the and Shanshan Feng won her back-to-back victory at the Blue Bay Championship at Hainan Island in China, and by winning she now moves into the #1 spot in the world. She becomes the first Chinese player to hold that coveted #1 in the world spot, and for her that's huge. In China, you know, think of the basketball player, all of those Chinese players that did well in other sports. They became huge in their country, and so will she. She will be worshipped by the Chinese players, and hopefully it will grow the game. People will see, wow, you know, a Chinese player has the ability to get into the #1 spot in the world, and maybe that will foster some more juniors to get into the game. Moira Dutonagon did have an opportunity on the final hole, had a 4-foot putt to get into a playoff, and very unusual for her. She's a very good putter, but the pressure just got to her, and she just hit the putt a little bit offline, lipped out, and Shanshan was the winner. So there are your winners for last week. And next week coming up, we have the RSM Classic for the PGA Tour. Of course, Europe now goes to the DP World Tour Championship in Dubai. So this is the race to Dubai. And then on the LPGA, we have the race to the CME Globe. They have their final tournament of the week there in the CME Globe Tour Championship. So stay tuned and watch the golf. Now, in terms of our blogs, 2 weeks ago we did power as a theme. Last week we did accuracy. This week, the #1 question that I get asked when I get students in golf school and everybody sits down and I'm asking them, you know, what are their goals for the school and so on. The #1 question I get asked is consistency. Everybody wants to be consistent. So Tuesday we do Troubleshot Tuesday. I'm going to teach you how to be more consistent in your overall game by understanding how to practice. Wednesday is rules and etiquette. Not much we can talk about in terms of consistency there, but I will bring up a very important rule that will help you with your game. Thursday we do Technical Thursdays. Again, technique you can work on to make your game more consistent. Fridays we're going to bring in a guest fitness instructor to tell you what to do to help your swing be more consistent. And then Short Game Saturday, I'm going to give you my 2 favorite tips that I use that I think will help anybody become a good putter and a much more consistent putter. And in fact, I claim that my one drill will eliminate 3-putting altogether. Wouldn't you love that? So stay tuned to next week.